Dana White's emotionally charged and rash decision to announce a brand new light heavyweight title fight at UFC 283 in Brazil between Glover Teixeira and Jamahall Hill was just made because he was coping with his anger for Paddy Pimblett's fight against Jared Gordon. And because he couldn't publicly be upset at Paddy Pimblett, because that's the UFC's investment that they're trying to protect, and they have to kiss Paddy's ass and make sure that he thinks he's a star so that they can have somewhat of a glimmer of hope to have a star like Conor one day. Because he couldn't be angry at Paddy publicly, he decided to use Magomed Ankalaev and Jan Blachowicz' fight as a scapegoat to take out all of that emotional turmoil that the UFC brass had so that they could then make something happen.
Give us your thoughts on the main event.
What are you going to do? I think the main event was terrible. I don't even know. I started to zone out after like fucking 3 rounds, so.
What do you do now, right? I mean, vacant title, a split.
You do Glover versus Jamahall Hill in Brazil for the vacant title.
Is that done?
Done.
And that something was Glover Teixeira and Jamahall Hill. That is the fight that they decided when they were in the back room, pissed off, and they were saying, fuck, fuck, fuck. What are we gonna do? Paddy Pimblett fucking sucks, and we thought this kid was gonna be a star. You can't even get past Jared Gordon. You know, we should be thanking our lucky stars that Paddy even got the decision in the first place, but like, what are we gonna do? Oh, and the fact that those guys in the main event fought to a draw is also pretty annoying, right? I actually think that Dana White is going through an emotional breakdown. I mean, he literally just saw his future star, Paddy Pimblett, look like shit against a 34-year-old journeyman in Jared Gordon, who Paddy Pimblett was supposed to go out there and completely obliterate. And he basically lost that fight. And not only did he lose that fight, the fight sucked. And so when Magomed Ankalaev and Jan Blachowicz got in the cage, Dana White was fuming. In fact, he was so pissed off that no matter what fight was going on in the moment, he would still think it was shit. And the whole time he's watching this light heavyweight title fight, he's thinking, oh my goodness, Paddy Pimblett just absolutely blew it. This guy had a meatball down the middle. He had the perfect opportunity. His first moment as a pay-per-view fighter, and he completely blew it by putting on an absolute shit fight where he basically lost. His hype is dead. How on earth are we ever going to profit off of this guy? The draw between Magomed Ankalaev and Jan Blachowicz is merely the straw that broke the camel's back. That's just something that set Dana White and the UFC brass over the limit. I guarantee you those guys were hitting the fucking wall backstage, screaming, crying, and you just knew it when Dana White got in front of the press. You just absolutely knew that he was pissed.
I started to zone out after like fucking 3 rounds, so.
Did you even watch it, or were you too busy thinking about the fact that your investment in Paddy Pimblett just stunk the whole place up and completely ruined his hype? But I just think it's so disrespectful to make a brand new light heavyweight title fight directly after Magomed Ankalaev and Jan Blachowicz. And it's funny to me because he's in such denial. Because if you just watch that fight between Magomed Ankalaev and Jan Blachowicz, it was actually a pretty decent high-level fight. There were big moments in that fight between Jan and Magomed. I mean, Jan had him hurt on multiple occasions. There were times where I thought that the fight may be stopped because Ankalaev's legs were just destroyed. And there were times in the 4th and 5th round where I thought the ref might step in to save Jan Blachowicz on the ground. And there were high-level moments between both of these guys showing really good skill. It was a really good fight. And I'm not even saying that the UFC shouldn't make a new vacant title fight with completely different guys. I'm just saying the fact that you're announcing it directly after these guys just fought is a little bit distasteful and disrespectful to Magomed Ankalaev and Jan Blachowicz that just fought their heart out. And it's even worse because you know this new announcement is emotionally charged. You know for a fact that this was made out of anger. Dana White isn't going to get up there in front of the press and shit on his Paddy Pimblett, his precious draw. He's trying to evade the reality that his precious draw just stunk up the whole building and put a shitty taste in everyone's mouth and killed his own hype. I mean, we all saw Paddy Pimblett get exposed, and Dana did as well. And Dana knows that. He knows who Jared Gordon is. He's the one who set that goddamn fight up. He's the one who thought Paddy was going to just go in there and destroy him. But, like, the UFC is pissed. They don't want Jared Gordon to win. And all they see is everyone praising Jared Gordon. They see everyone angry at Paddy Pimblett. And you're having an emotional breakdown because of that. So when you're watching the light heavyweight title fight, you don't want to accept it. you don't want to accept that that cash cow and that investment is going to shit. You don't want to accept that you're actually losing a lot of money on this kid, and that, you know, he's had 4 fights in the UFC and it's all about to go downhill from here. Because despite, even if that guy could come back and get a big win, he'll never break into the top 15. And the reason being ranked is relevant is because the biggest names are guys that are ranked, right? You want to put him up against a guy with a big name. That's what brings in the most eyes. He's going to have to keep fighting cans. And can he even beat them? Can he even beat a Jared Gordon? He can't. So that kind of sucks. Like, sure, he's a big personality, but like, you're putting him up against no names. The whole point of trying to invest in this kid, trying to build his career, is so that one day you can have mega fights, big fights that bring in millions of people. And that's just never going to be the case now. And that's pissing Dana White and the UFC brass off. So they're saying, like, there was a draw, so unfortunate, you know, fuck Magomed and fuck Jan Blachowicz. They'll never get a title shot again. Like, are you kidding me? It's just insane. Like, that's the attitude that I got from them. We're not going to give these guys a title shot again. Why? They just fought a really good fight. It was a high-level fight. It was a chess match. And they were both really tough. They were tough enough to where they didn't allow the other one to win. And it's a draw. That's how it goes. And as I said, I kind of like the draw. I think the draw is dope. I don't understand the idea that you look at a draw and look at it as something that is so unfortunate to the point to where you need to absolutely bash it. We rarely see draws, and if I'm going to be honest, some fights are really damn close. I mean, that literally could have gone either way. I could see someone giving it to Magomed. I could see someone giving it to Jan Blachowicz because he got the better of Magomed in the first few rounds, including the third round. You could edge that one out to him as well. I mean, I could see the argument for both guys, and because of that, I'm kind of happy with there being a draw. I understand that both Jan and Magomed were probably pissed because, of course, they both wanted the win really badly, but, like, at least you didn't lose. You know what I mean? And hey, like, now you can look at the other guy and say, oh, I have big respect for you. Like, both of us were just too damn good, and we couldn't beat the other guy, but we also didn't lose. That's kind of dope. That kind of means, like, you've just met your rival. And to me, I look at that as something that is indicative of two guys that are really, really good and wanted it badly, and both fought a pretty good fight. Jan Blachowicz fought excellent in the first few rounds. He fought really well. I mean, he was destroying the legs of Magomed Ankalaev. He was really picking him apart. He was hurting him on multiple occasions. There were times where I thought, as I said, the fight was going to be stopped. I thought it would be. I thought there was no way Magomed Ankalaev was going to be able to steal the last few rounds. There was no way I thought that was going to be the case when the second round was finished and Magomed was limping back to the corner. The fact that he was able to turn around and actually dominate Jan Blachowicz in the fourth and fifth was extremely impressive to me and showed that this guy has a lot of heart. And the fact that Jan Blachowicz, who's basically 40 years old, was able to damage Magomed Ankalaev and put him on skates was pretty impressive as well. But nobody is giving these guys credit for it. And it kind of pisses me off, man. I'm not going to lie. And trust me, I understand the fact that Magomed Ankalaev and Jan Blachowicz fighting to a draw after getting the opportunity to fight for the belt would be annoying for a company, right? You have this vacant title for the light heavyweight belt, right? You'd like to at least be able to crown a new champion. I get it. It's annoying that these guys fought to a draw. But guess what? God forbid two fighters actually want to win, and they're not just going to roll over and let the other guy get the better of them. God forbid two guys make it close. I mean, how dare these professional fighters actually go out there and both try to win? Are you kidding me? Why can't one of them just get knocked out? Because in my opinion, they actually put on a very high level fight, and I liked watching it. The first 3 rounds was a showcase of high level striking with big stakes, right? Both of those guys could have gotten knocked out. These guys have massive amounts of power in their hands. They're high level strikers. Those were two guys trying to take each other's heads off, and it was actually entertaining in the first 3 rounds. I know it was a little bit of a chess match. It was a little bit slow at times, but at least it was competitive. At least it was high level, and there were moments where Jan Blachowicz had Magomed Ankalaev hurt, limping around, almost falling over because his legs were so damaged. In the latter half of the fight, Magomed Ankalaev, as a grappler, went out there and took Jan Blachowicz down and did the best that he could to steal those rounds, and that's exactly what he was able to do. Sure, not the most entertaining performance from both of these guys, but a high-level match nonetheless, and people are giving these guys shit for it. I liked it, man. When the draw happened, I was like, you know, I kind of wanted Jan to win, but Magomed, like, he did enough to make it damn close and to maybe even steal it, so when the draw was made, I was kind of okay with it. What would have happened if Magomed Ankalaev won? Or what would have happened if Jan Blachowicz won? And what would have happened if maybe one of them even got a finish? What would Dana White do? Because then he would go to the press conference and there wouldn't be that much talk about the draw. There would just be a lot of talk about the one elephant in the room, Paddy Pimblett and Jared Gordon. What do you guys think would have happened? And also, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time.
Every day is beef liver day. As you know, beef liver is nature's multivitamin. It's one of the healthiest, most vitamin-rich foods on the planet. Quality is incredibly important. You want to be eating animals that are truly raised on pastures, in wide open fields, eating grass, right? This is health. Now, not everyone can get beef liver, quality grass-fed beef liver from beautiful grass-fed cows like the one that's standing behind me. That being said, that's no excuse to forego the benefits that you could get from eating grass-fed beef liver. Heart and Soil Supplements sells good quality grass-fed, pasture-raised beef liver year-round, and you guys can get 10% off if you click the link in my bio. Get yourself some grass-fed beef liver today.